Hi, and a very warm welcome to our hackathon live here from Schwäbisch Gmünd. My name is Sammy, and we are here with a lot of students, and we are trying to hack things so they are better usable together.
Welcome to our hackathon live here from Schwäbisch Gmünd.
Oh, okay. So, for further ado, let me introduce to us and the other speaker.
Here in Schwäbisch Gmünd, I was invited to run the hackathon here with the students, and in this stream we don't just have a stream from the event here, but we also have two speakers in the call. And the first one is Thomas Dönnebrink, who's a very well-known and almost famous sharing activist from Germany, who will give us a 10-minute presentation on what is the shared economy and how can it help us to make a shift towards circular and sustainable cities. In Berlin, and they will run us tell us a little bit about the project and the problems it has to inspire the students we have here to come up with cool hacks, maybe to solve the problems of this. And we start now with Thomas. Talk.
Yeah, hi, thanks everybody. Greetings from Berlin. To Schwäbisch Gmünd and to the world, whoever is listening. So I was asked to give a short presentation on the collaborative economy, which I will do in a more about 10 minutes presentation. You see all the slides. One would be to show you the distinction of 4 different fields, which of course overlap and reinforce each other. Most widely spread is the field of the collaborative consumption. Less known, but likely even more disruptive to the status quo is the future in finance. And in the 4th field called openness or collaborative learning, concept aspects of this field of openness, important role in all 3 fields mentioned above. I will add a few words to each of the 4 fields later. Talking about the collaborative economy, we like to start with a quote of Anderson, editor of Wired magazine. Our humble summarize: the next decade will be about applying the statement for a minute. Looking at the first decade, we see platforms like Wikipedia, Linux, WordPress, Flickr, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter popping up and growing strong and influential. They allow extending communities to share music, knowledge, code, pictures, videos, news with the entire world. A whole generation, the digital natives, have grown up in the world of collaboration and sharing.
What? Maybe Thomas, Maike, can you still hear Thomas?
Distinguished 4 phases. And phase 4, we connect to access and share atoms, real items. In a nutshell, sharing and communal use mentions through new technology and new experiences. What is driving this collaborative economy? We see 4 main drivers at work. Number 1, the rapid expansion of technological innovation and digitalization platforms. Second, a longing for community and participation after decades of, how I call it, autistic materialism. Number 3, an increasing environmental consciousness of the planet's limits. And number 4, economic constraints. So the necessity as the mother of innovation. So if you have a look at the driver 2 and 3, they are actually to a large extent the renaissance of traditional behaviors and modes of connectedness. Nevertheless, in their drive to alter and change the status quo, we consider them to be expression of innovation. These drivers of social innovation are joining forces with the drivers of technological innovation and are therefore creating a new disruptive quality called collaborative innovation. This collaborative innovation an important origin as for the very unfolding. There are certain critical collaboration. First, trust. Now, digital technologies like reputation systems to create trust. Mistrusted strangers become trusted strangers or friends. Second, belief in the commons is created by a value shift concerning importance of property, lifestyles, and aims in life. And third, idle capacity is increasingly realized and considered inefficient and wasteful. Example of the car who is at the side of the road for 23 hours not used. And fourth, value of growing networks allow matching and the more the preconditions are improving, and the faster and wider the collaborative economy will extend, and with it the disruption of the status quo. Closer look at the 4 areas of collaborative economy. So, collaborative consumption. So what do we share? Almost everything. Care, to mention the last slide, are met. We share. We actually are observing a renaissance-based behaviors like reselling, bartering, renting, lending, and so on. We do share without or without using technology. And why do we share? Even though economic considerations of saving or earning money often comes first, environmental and social reason of achieving more resource efficiency and connectiveness with other people gains increasing importance. So what are the resulting effects? First, access beats ownership. Rise of new business models. Third, rise of new collaborative lifestyles and opportunities. And in a nutshell, not just what we consume, but how we consume changes. So second, collaborative production. Co-working spaces are doubling every 12 months for 5 years in a row now. More and more people are coming together in an increasing number of fabrication labs and hacker spaces to develop, create, and produce collaboratively. Aggregated capital and infrastructure was usually the precondition to start production. Now, increasingly easier and cheaper access to means of production give more and more people the opportunity to become producers. This can be considered a democratization of production. First, open hardware provides one with license-free tools and components. Second, fab labs and hacker spaces give one access to spaces and machinery. Third, open communities enables one to hook up with the right people and get free access to valuable knowledge. And fourth, marketplaces like Kickstarter or Etsy gives ability to raise funds or sell their produce without further costs. This democratization of production will also free localization. Owens once said, if it is a challenge to be a step over the, if it is an industry to present Wikispeed, an open source car project. It achieves 100 miles per hour runs on less than 33 liters. The first prototype was built in 3 months by 40 volunteers with almost no budget. The car consists of modular components, bringing product cycles down to just days, allowing rapid experimentation and application of new innovations. In contrast, the traditional automotive industry has product cycles of 7 years, involving big fixed costs, making innovation cost use. How these differences will play out in the years to come has to be seen. The collaborative finance seems to develop into another game changer. We distinguish between crowdfunding, crowd investing, and crowd lending. All variants provides everybody with new opportunities to raise money and bypass banks. The $5.1 billion of worldwide collaborative finance raised in 2000. The Forbes 1000 predicts for 2020, however, will not feel like peanuts anymore. Due to time constraints, I can't dig into the potential of the vast disruptive force of this force field of the collaborative economy. For the sake of completeness, I just want to emphasize the fact that the free online encyclopedia, Wikipedia, managed to make proprietary versions like the 200-year-old Britannica or the highly funded Microsoft Encarta obsolete within a few years. The collaborative economy is on the rise and increasingly sinks into the public awareness as these front pages of widespread magazine illustrates. Or as The Economist puts it, it's time to start caring about sharing. Slide, the first part, the collaborative economy is changing not only how we live, travel and move around, produce and finance, but also how we experience our environment and communal life, and how we think and act. Eisenstein, the US says, every system is built upon values and a story. If you want to change the system, you have to change the underlying values and the story that upholds it. The best leverage to system change. And herewith, I also come to the end of my little talk. So I hope it was not too fast, but I had to speed up to get it in time. I don't know, do you have any further questions?
Thank you.
I got everybody muted now, looks like.
Thank you, Thomas, for this fantastic talk. Maybe one more. Anyone has a question? One question for Thomas. Okay, no question, Thomas. So just great talk.
Okay, a little bit overwhelmed. I mean, if you're interested, like there are also links on the internet, you can also read it. I'll come back with questions to me or somebody from WeShare. As I'm also like one of the WeShare connectors.
This talk worked well, and yeah, and then you can also watch the talk one more time after this. Thank you. Let's now go to Maike and Clemens, who will tell us a little bit about the Lila All Sharing Shop in Berlin. I don't know who of you is first, Maike or Clemens?
I thought I should maybe introduce what the idea behind it was. Lila, so I'm one of the mental mothers. As explained, there's the concept of commons. So Nikolai and I got together and we wanted to set up a real life commons experiment, because commons is a theory, but you have to actually practice commoning in order to see how it works and what you can actually achieve with it. So the idea was we set up the sharing resources, but we also govern ourselves. We allow the members to establish how this shared resource is used, who's allowed to use it, and how long and when. Maybe Clemens, now you can explain how the system works at Lila. If you want to become a member and if you want to then borrow things at Lila, and maybe you can also give us a little peek into what the actually.
The two at the end. If you want to be a member, you have to come here with an object, and then we will get it into the to the other things and get it into the system, and yeah, then everybody can borrow it. We have here. The first room is for presents and for giving. Everybody can take it here and give a little Spende. Maike, what is it called?
Yeah, you bring things that you don't need anymore, and then you can give a donation.
Donation, yeah, thanks. And the other two rooms are all of the things in the system that are all of the objects that are here to borrow. And yeah, if you want to be a member, you can come here, and then we have some of these things. Maybe you can see it, maybe not, and then you will be a member. the lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a membership form where you have to fill in
Yes.
details and you have to agree to the terms and conditions that we set up over the past 3 years.
Yeah, and if you yeah, maybe the camera is not the best one. Free air, allow there, and there you go to the next rooms, and there you see. Yeah, that's okay. And there you see how many objects. There.
Very well.
Okay.
And maybe because we are here at the hackathon, can you share what's one of the main problems you have there at Lila? Something that we might try to start to solve here at our hackathon. What's one of the main obstacles, problems, and so on?
Yeah, we've got a little problem with a fund. No, you're muted now.
One of the main problems we encountered very early on, this model of sharing is like a bubble. Within, you bring something and you share on a trust basis. There's no rent or anything, which means that there's also no profit. And I call it the interface to the real world, which is that we have to pay rent for the room. So there's a lot of financial pressure on this shop to gather this money through the donations in order to pay the rent for the room. And I think this is one problem that such moneyless sharing schemes encounter very often, is that they live in a
hack the financial system.
And the other thing is, Clement, maybe you can explain how it works when you want to then, as a member, borrow an item. How does that work?
If you want to borrow an item, you come to us and then you tell us what you want, and then we look up in the system what is it, which ID did it got, and if there's some euros to pay a fund, and then we check it up, and then we get it to the system, and then we have to somehow deal with the fund, and that's what we have to somehow.
Yeah, the fund is the German word for a deposit.
Yeah,
so
okay.
For items that break easily or that are very expensive, after 1 year we established a system that you have to pay a deposit and you get back when you return the item.
Yeah.
Okay, and one problem we have with that system is that as soon as money meters space, and it does something with people. For example, then you have to do something with the trust system that we had before that, and is that you then have to start bookkeeping. You have to start control instead of having trust. And I found that it's system is not the main problem. Before that, you always have those free riders that come and borrow things and don't bring them back. So we had a very heated discussion within the shop, and maybe that's a discussion that you can also have in your classroom there. How would you set up the system? Which rules would you set up for such a shop to make sure that you really create a moneyless bubble, where within this you can do commoning without money?
Thanks. I think yeah, this is a very good input, because I borrowed a little what's coffer? English?
Suitcase.
A suitcase to Lila, and I gave a €5 deposit, and then someone stole this suitcase from me. And I just wrote you an email, hey, it got stolen, oh, what can I do about it, you know? And it was fine for me because I thought you got my €5. And I didn't feel the need that I have to go to Delilah and excuse and think with you have a solution how to replace this suitcase and so on. It was all because money was in.
The system we had before the deposit system was that you would simply be asked to bring another used suitcase because all the items we had, or we still have, are all used. And that's not the same for all the sharing shops. This is special to the Berlin shop. It's like you bring items from your own household. Now, other sharing shops do items, and so they new tools. And this is another challenge in our shop is that the things we get are made for private use. And you can call it planned use of many people. They break a lot earlier, so we go through a lot of things, and they should actually be designed to last longer.
Okay, yeah, great. Thanks, Maike. Maybe one last chance to ask a question. For the question.
The most valuable bits, maybe one of the repair things that we have in the repair area. I would think the handy repair, the smartphone repair set is one of the expensive ones, and yeah.
Bikes.
Yeah, we've got bikes too. Yeah, they're very expensive too. Not very expensive, but they've got the most deposit. Yeah.
And guitars
Yeah.
and the piece of.
Also, for a short time, we had a laptop that you could borrow, and we found this is actually too difficult because it needs a lot of servicing. The problem was less that it's so valuable, but that we didn't have the IT expert to service the laptop every time it returns to make sure that it doesn't have any viruses. So we gave up on that. And we found that some things, and this is part of the experiment, some things good for sharing, they don't lend themselves, they have too many problems.
Yeah. And you have an original art piece from a little bit famous artist, because this was the item I brought in when I became a member. An original art piece someone just gave to me. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Maike, thank you, Clemens, and thank you, Thomas. It was really amazing and interesting. And we will end it here. And yeah, thanks. And see you soon, all. Any final comments? Yeah, okay, bye. Let's do applause. Okay, and we will, from this hackathon here, we will, of course, work on sharing solutions, and we will document them where develop here. Thank you, and see you to the open.